A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start with the first snippet. Strife-torn state. There's one important word here, strife. Strife-torn means full of dissent. What is the meaning of dissent? D-I-S-S-E-N-T. Dissent means to oppose, full of violence, full of opposition, full of dissent. Then we say strife-torn state. In a way, you can take a disturbed state. And which state is that? Manipur. You all know Manipur? Of late in turmoil. Turmoil means disturbance. And based on that, the expression strife-torn state. Manipur all set for PM's visit today. All set for. Set for means ready for. The state is ready for PM's visit. Set for PM's visit. Set for, ready for. An important phrasal verb. Coming to the second snippet, NATO on edge. What do the letters stand for? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And here I have pronounced it as a word, NATO. When we take the first letters of different words and form a word, that is called what? I have given many a time. It is called acronym. What is it called? Acronym. But if you pronounce every letter, that is called abbreviation. For example, I may say BBC. I have pronounced every letter. British Broadcasting Corporation. That is abbreviation. I say AIR, All India Radio, and I say NATO. Here words have been formed, then that is known as acronym. NATO on edge. Someone or something is on edge means in a dangerous situation, and you should recollect expressions like on the brink of, on the verge of. What is the meaning of on the verge, on the brink? Here we use on the brink of or verge of. On the brink of something, on the verge of something. Usually it goes with a negative context. On the verge of extinction, on the brink of extinction. On edge, usually it means a tense situation. On edge. Russia, Belarus start joint military drills for some threat perhaps. Coming to the next one, farmers protest, an important word here. If you read meticulously, something will catch your attention. Farmer singular, farmers plural. And we are trying to use a possessive case. There's one important rule. If a plural noun ends in the letter S, we should use apostrophe after the letter S. Accordingly, here we have farmers apostrophe protest tweet. Some tweet regarding farmers protest, perhaps it has become controversial. Supreme Court denies relief to Kangana Ranaut. Deny means to say no. Very good, Pravalika. To say no. Denies bail or denies relief to someone. Here, actress, and now I think she's MP also. State of despair, an important word here. Despair means no hope. And here state of despair means someone does not have any hope. Then we say state of despair. Imagine someone is in troubles. Then we say he is in doldrums. Have you heard of that? Doldrums means complete, full of problems. India's grain bowl after deluge. After the deluge. Grain bowl. Usually we use expressions like, which country is known as the sugar bowl of the world? Sugar bowl of the world. I think it is Brazil. Like that here, grain bowl means we have a lot of grains. Based on that, this has been used. In the recent past in the north, heavy floods, flash floods, and you have to recollect all those words. And because of that, this particular state of despair. India's grain bowl after the deluge, inundation, heavy downpour, flash floods, we have got so many times. As floods recede means to go back. Usually the word recede goes with waves and tides. High tide, the water surges. Surge means two meanings. One meaning sudden increase, another meaning sudden forward movement. And water during high tide, water surges. During neap tide, low tide, water recedes. Recede means to go back. As floods recede, Punjab stares at grim reality. Two important words. Stare, look at someone or something for a long time. When someone looks at you for a long time, you say, "Why are you staring at me?" And in the US, staring is considered a bad habit. If you stare at someone, they come to you and say, "Didn't your mother teach you that staring is a bad habit? You're not supposed to stare over there." And what is the other one here? Grim reality. Grim is a negative word related to grief, unhappiness, sorrow. Grim reminder, very good, Naidu. Some combinations you have to learn. Grim reality, sad reality, you can say, and grim reminder means something reminds not positive, something negative. Coming to this one, usually we don't see Indians, tennis and Indians rare. But for players like Leander Pace in the past, Mahesh Bhupati, Sania Mirza, here looks like a new guy. Davis Cup, Dakshineshwar Nagal put India 2-0 ahead. Between the countries, we use Davis Cup, and it goes with tennis. Coming to the main headline, Sushila Karki sworn in as Nepal's first woman PM. She is the one, and you all know unrest in Nepal. The young generation, you can say Gen Z or Generation Z. Usually Americans don't pronounce the word Z as Z. They say Z, Gen Z. That means Generation Z, new generation, young generation. They they protested large scale, and so many people lost lives. Two reasons. One reason, they're not happy with the corruption among politicians. They're not happy with corrupt politicians. They're not happy with. Yesterday, I was going through one article. One of the reasons for that unrest, Nepo kids. Have you heard of this any time? Nepo kids. One of the reasons behind protests in Nepal, Nepo kids. Nepo, short form of nepotism. That's an important word. They've given many a time. Nepotism. Have you heard of this word any time? What is the meaning of nepotism? Bank exams, SSC, they have given many a time. Nepotism means you have power, you have authority, you try to favor your relatives or your friends. That is what precisely we call nepotism. Today, if you take film industry also in our country, lot of criticism against nepo kids. Means hero's son becomes hero, and they have the platform ready for them, and others they have to struggle their way up to get success. And here, nepo kids, one of the reasons, and that you have to know exactly. Sworn in, take oath. Regime change, one important word. Regime has two different meanings. One meaning, government. And some government in power, we say incumbent government, incumbent regime. And another meaning of regime means system. Tax regime means what? Tax system. Both the meanings you have to know. And otherwise, nothing to learn. Let us go to other snippets or headlines. Here we have Modi pushes for digitizing manuscripts. There's one important word here, manuscript. This word manuscript comes from manual. Manual means using your hands. When you write something, you don't give it to the printer. Before it gets printed, We call it a manuscript, manually written. When it comes to work also, we say manual job, manual work. Manual work means what? Using hands. If it is a low level work, we say menial work. That's a different word altogether. And based on the type of work, we have two categories. Now, the third category is in the limelight. Traditionally, two categories: white collar workers, blue collar workers. Those who use a brain, white collar workers, engineers, doctors, professionals. Blue collar workers, technicians. But now, I have read an article recently in the Economist magazine. They are talking about, you may get as a passage, this is a new thing, new collar workers. Have you heard of this any time? Mark my words, you may get in the exam as a passage. Because the article I read in the Economist magazine, recent one, there's a new thing happening in the US. It may happen in our country sooner or later. New collar workers. Who are these new collar workers? Today, if you take our degrees, graduation or post graduation, based on that, you get a job. But things are changing. Today, to get a job, degrees are not relevant. Your degrees are not at all important. Then you may ask, so what is important? Soft skills are important. Then you may ask, so what comes under soft skills? Leadership qualities, time management, stress management, interpersonal skills, problem solving ability, proactive nature, all being someone like taking the initiative. Proactive means take initiative. And also job skills. Based on the nature of work, you need a particular skill set, and we call it JD, job description. Any post demands certain skills, and those skills nowadays not based on the graduation, not based on the post graduation, not based on your degrees, based on your hands-on experience, based on your passion to learn something, based on the knowledge you have acquired with hands-on experience. And those people are EQ, also emotional quotient, empathy. Those people are called new collar workers. In the US today, if it happens in the US, sooner or later happens around the world. A new breed is coming up. What is the name for that breed? New collar workers. But traditionally, white collar, blue collar, new collar. Here you can see a man accused of killing Charlie Kirk arrested. Yesterday we got one word. A few words: a murder, kill, homicide, genocide, and assassination, assault, all these words. And we also got the word sniper. Those who use a telescopic gun and shoot someone long range, sniper. That man has been arrested. You can see vice presidential candidate, he has won. Stepping forward, duty begins. Duty begins means what? He has been elected and he is the new vice president, an important current affairs bit. Who is the vice president? CP Radhakrishnan. Already the tag has been given. Now we cannot say CP Radhakrishnan, we have to say Vice President CP Radhakrishnan. After taking oath at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi on Friday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, and other dignitaries means important people who present, grace the occasion with their presence. Dignitaries were present on the occasion. Coming to the next one, ending India's Russian oil imports is top priority for someone for whom the US President Donald Trump. What is his top priority? Stopping India from buying Russian oil. Ending India's Russian oil import is top priority. Retail inflation climbs to 2.1% in August after a 9-month decline. Going down, we say decline. And what are the combinations? Declining numbers, declining standards, declining quality. These combinations are very important from the exam point of view. Coming to the next one, the last one perhaps, or last but one. Railways issue alert after several signal failures. That is rather dangerous. Signal failures, based on that railways, what have they done? Railways issue alert. to be alert. Obviously, they have to be. You can also use who is this Nagashri, looks like a new student. Diminishing numbers. Diminish also means go down. And the last one, firecracker ban should not be only in Delhi. An important word I've told many a time. The word only, it should come before whatever it describes. Usually, in many exams, they've given a question. She has solved two problems only. Right or wrong? Wrong. She has solved only two problems. Then it is correct. Here it talks about firecracker ban. Should not be. Should, a helping verb with two functions. One, it is used to advise or suggest someone. Second, it is used to express the possibility, but the chances are less. Should not be only in Delhi means what? It should be extended to other parts of the country. That's all from the front page. Let us go to today's editorial. Today also I'll read out, I'll do value addition, but today's editorial is about what? Double speak. Not this one. I'm going to deal with something you can relate to, something in the limelight, and something important from the exam point of view. Donald Trump, specific, but social media touches every sector from top to bottom, entire range of people from all walks of life. So, what is this about? Scam space. Why space? Why the word space? We are talking about social media. Keeping that in mind, the writer must have used space. But space is an important word from the exam point of view. In many competitive exams, I've given a compartment. There is no space, there is no place in this compartment. Right or wrong? There is no place in this compartment. It is wrong. You can use the word space. There is no space in this compartment. But English is a combinational language. In that context, we use the word, there is no room in this compartment. A person who is not good at English may wonder, how can they say no room in the compartment? Room has two meanings. One meaning, this is a room. But what is the other meaning? Room means space. And Britishers, native speakers, for that idea, there is no space in this compartment. They say, there is no room in this compartment. Meaning is the same. That has been given many a time. Scam space. Scam is a positive word or negative word? Negative word. Scam, something fraudulent, something illegal, something controversial. We use financial scam, some other scam. What is the main idea? Social media platforms should proactively remove fraudulent content. An important word for youngsters like you. Proactive. Today, companies, public sector, private sector, they're looking for employees. They want employees to be good at soft skills. They want employees to be proactive, not reactive. Then you may ask me, so what is the difference between proactive and reactive? Reactive means you respond after the incident. After a particular event, you respond. That means you are reactive. But companies don't want that. They want proactive employees. Proactive means you take the initiative and you do something. You look at a situation, you know something is required. Before the management tells you do it, that means you are proactive. Here it says social media platforms should proactively remove fraudulent content. Fraud, positive or negative? Entirely negative word, fraud. It goes with practices, it goes with persons. We say he's a fraud. He's a fraud means what? Proper, positive or negative? Completely negative. And fraudulent content, fraudulent practices, fraudulent behavior. These are the combinations you have to know. And it talks about today's social media platform. Unfortunately, in this context, I would like to say today every Tom, Dick, and Harry, if you take YouTube, every Tom, Dick, and Harry comes up with a channel and teaches English. And one person says, learn this sentence, you can speak English fluently. Is it possible? Learn one sentence, you can speak English fluently. Today in our country, we have doctors, engineers, professors, intellectuals of high caliber. They struggle to speak English fluently. They struggle to speak flawless English or impeccable English. I don't understand how one can speak a language by learning one sentence. But height of idiocy, that fellow gets 2 lakh views, 1 million views. That is nothing but height of stupidity, height of idiocy. And all these things, they try to attract people. Mission impossible. Yes. I don't know. I don't want to mention the names and all. We are not trying to be subjective. We are trying to be objective. And so much fraud is going on social media related to that. It has to be removed. And today on social media, YouTube channel, we have so many doctors, not actual doctors, but someone comes up and says, you do this, you will live 100 years. And all these things, there should be a check. Someone has to check. Otherwise, these things keep going on. How does it start? Policing the digital economy requires what might seem disproportionate resources, and a recent case in Hyderabad illustrates why. They have taken one case that happened in Hyderabad, that happened to a doctor, that is a stimulus. Based on that, they have written this editorial. What is it? Policing the digital economy demands, calls for, requires something. What does it call for? What does it require? What might seem disproportionate resources. Imagine problem is there. Based on the problem, we need about 100 police, but we have only 50. Means not proportionate. Shortage of manpower, shortage of resources. And a recent case in Hyderabad illustrates why. Why do we need proportionate resources? Why disproportionate resources a problem? A particular case illustrates. Illustrate means to show. Illustrations, drawings. But another meaning of illustrate, to show. Provide an example. A case in Hyderabad illustrates why. What is that case? We will see. A retired doctor was persuaded to invest more than 20 lakh after viewing a video on Instagram in which Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman appeared to endorse an investment scheme. I myself have seen, I smiled, I told myself, how can the finance minister, sheer common sense, how can the finance minister talk about a particular scheme? Does it come under her purview? And why will she promote a finance scheme? Ridiculous. Anyone with common sense should think. They have shown many celebrities, IT professionals and former chairman of Infosys. They show some videos where they show you invest in this, within no time your money gets multiplied. When people see money getting multiplied, they get tempted, but they have to use common sense. How can the finance minister promote a scheme like this? Once they realize that, they will not get tempted. And what is this common sense? Once someone asked a philosopher, Sir, what is common sense? He said, the most uncommon thing in the world is common sense. What is common sense? The most uncommon thing in the world is common sense. We all think we have common sense, but that's what we don't have. That is a problem. That's why we come across all these incidents. And who is this person? Retired doctor was persuaded. There are two words you have to recollect: persuade, dissuade. Persuade in a way positive. You convince someone to do something. Dissuade, you convince someone not to do something. And dissuade takes the preposition from. Dissuade from. Very important. They've given many a time. He was persuaded, past tense passive voice. I persuaded him, he was persuaded by me, past tense passive voice, to invest more than 20 lakh, not a small amount. That to a doctor, his hard-earned money, not black money, his blood and sweat. 20 lakh after viewing a video on Instagram in which Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman appeared to endorse. Endorse means to publicly support a product or a service. Usually who does it? Celebrities do that. And here, finance minister. An investment scheme. The video was a deep fake. You all know the word fake. Fake currency. As prospective bankers, prospective government officers, fake currency, a common word. But what is the other word you have to know? Counterfeit. Counterfeit means fake. Counterfeit notes, fake currency. Deep fake. Fake We have one level above because of courtesy, thanks to AI. Fake is normal, higher level is what? Deep fake. Similar videos have been in circulation featuring other public figures to lend credibility to fraudulent cryptocurrency platforms. Here we have credibility. Credible means believable. And what is the opposite of credible? Incredible. Incredible has positive connotation, negative connotation. When I say you guys are incredible, that could be serious, that could be a little sarcastic also. But credible news means what? Believable. Credibility of someone means to what extent we can trust that person. To lend means to give credibility to fraudulent cryptocurrency platforms. Such scams, you all know financial scam, something illegal, doing something illegal. Such scams exploit the limited technical literacy of the wider population. Regulatory gaps in cryptocurrency trading, the new use of artificial intelligence generated deepfakes, and the limited response of social media platforms. Why do they happen? How do they exploit? Such scams exploit based on certain existing situation, existing scenario, they are able to do these things. Such scams exploit the limited technical literacy of the wider population. Youngsters are tech savvy. I've just used one expression. What is that? Tech savvy. Have you heard of this any time? You must have heard because you guys are tech savvy. What is the meaning of tech savvy? Someone who is good at using technology. Usually old people, they hesitate to use the technology. But youngsters, they're very curious, inquisitive, excited, and they feel quite at ease when it comes to using technology. Then we say their youngsters are tech savvy, good at using technology. But you can't expect the same with all people from all walks of life. Limited technical literacy of the wider population, regulatory gaps in cryptocurrency trading, loopholes also you can think of, the new use of artificial intelligence generated deepfakes, and the limited response of social media platforms. Social media platforms are good at using technology, exactly. Ravalika, perfect. What is the last point here? Limited response of social media platforms. They have to respond aggressively to curb this problem, to restrict this problem, to root out this problem. But the response is not overwhelming. What is the opposite of overwhelming response? Lukewarm response. When I ask a question, 100 students respond. Then I say, I got overwhelming response. One or two students respond, then I say, lukewarm response. Means not enthusiastic. Next sentence talks about what? Despite wide smartphone penetration, many users are still unable to identify online manipulation and are further motivated by the promise of rapid profits and fabricated evidence of gains. Today we have, where does it start? Despite wide smartphone penetration. Today even beggars have mobiles. Everyone has a mobile and smartphone. Despite wide smartphone penetration, many users are still unable to identify online manipulation. Manipulate someone means change the mindset according to your whims and fancies or according to your needs, and are further motivated by the promise of rapid profits. This is the root cause. What is the root cause here? Greed. Greed means what? Excess desire. One day you can get so many lakhs, someone says. People get tempted, human nature. Further motivated by the promise of rapid profits and fabricated evidence of gains. They make it look so authentic. A common man or an educated person, a person like a doctor, will definitely they are lured by fake evidence. Fabricated has two meanings. Ubiquitous, very good, aspirant. What is the meaning of fabricate? If you take IT companies, they take a big hall. They create partitions using glasses and aluminium frames, and that is called fabrication work. But imagine someone comes late. I ask, why are you late today? The person tells some lame excuse or comes up with a story. Then we say, don't fabricate stories. Means don't create stories. We also say, don't give lame excuses. We also say, don't tell cock and bull stories. All these you have to recollect. Fabricated, created has a negative connotation. Complaints often arise only after attempts to withdraw returns are blocked. Complaints often arise when only after attempts to withdraw returns are blocked. They expect returns, they try to withdraw, then they are blocked, then they realize they have been cheated. Public awareness campaigns remain uneven. There is one word here, uneven. Uneven, what is a better word? Lopsided. I usually give one example. If you take Hyderabad, it is growing very fast. For that one idiom, to grow by leaps and bounds. Hyderabad is growing by leaps and bounds. However, the growth is lopsided. Means what? Uneven. Certain pockets, they look so good, pockets of the city, and certain areas, they are not up to the mark. Uneven or lopsided, and often general, leaving many people vulnerable to scams that use increasingly sophisticated forms of deception. People become vulnerable because those who are trying to cheat, take others for a ride, they use sophisticated forms of deception. Deception means cheating. Slew means range. Slew of measures means range of measures. And here, sophisticated, polished, refined, civilized, urbane, one important word. Sophisticated means some people look very stylish and they carry themselves so well. Then you say sophisticated style. Polished, refined, civilized. One important word, urbane. They have given in many exams. A common man cannot make out that deception, so becomes vulnerable. Vulnerable, we have got many a time. What does it mean? It means something like likely to get exploited in a weak situation. Most countries, including India, also do not yet classify them with the same clarity as conventional securities. Yet is an important contrasting word. Because they are emerging, you can't expect solutions immediately. It takes some time. Based on that, most countries, including India, also do not yet classify them with same clarity as conventional securities, creating an environment where fraudsters operate with impunity. We have got this word recently. What is the meaning of impunity? To have the exemption, to escape something. Imagine there are rules. We have to follow the rules. Some people don't have to follow the rules. Then we say they have been exempted from the rules. Some people commit crime, they are not punished. Then we say they have impunity. An important word. Many are hosted abroad, operate through complex chains of wallets, and can disappear overnight. This is another problem. Important words. It talks about how they operate from abroad and also through complex chains of wallets. Why is the word wallet important? A lot of guys say, I lost my purse. A man is talking, a youngster is talking. If he says, I lost my purse, that is wrong English. The word purse goes with women. And man has to say, I lost my wallet, not purse. That's a common error. And disappear overnight. For that, there's one important idiom. What is it? Fly by night operators. Have you heard of this any time? Fly by night operators means they come to a particular city, they set up the office, they'll use the common people, promising high returns on some scheme. They collect a lot of money, and one fine day they disappear. Then we say fly by night operators. Have you heard of that any time? While police units have developed capacity, they reach stops at national borders. While police units have developed capacity, they reach stops at national borders. Police are ready. Oh, never heard? Fly by night operators. Usually, this expression we use when it comes to chit funds, finance companies. They promise you invest 1 lakh, we'll give you 10%, 20% after 3 months. People get attracted, they invest. One fine morning, the company, you don't see the company, they all disappear. Then we say fly by night operators. They cannot cross the national borders. That is a problem here. Coming to social media platforms, which serve as a principal channel for these scams, often respond passively. This is the main idea. They don't respond actively. They are not proactive. They don't respond actively. They give lukewarm response or they respond passively. While companies such as Instagram publish advisories on avoiding scams and offer reporting mechanisms, fraudulent videos and accounts remain accessible until removed. Till the time they remove, they are accessible. That means people will fall prey. They get cheated. The policies of platforms emphasize user self-protection rather than proactive detection. This is what I was talking about. There are two dimensions. One is user self-protection rather than instead of proactive detection. The channel has to do that, proactively detect and ban that particular channel. Then people don't get cheated. It is like prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. The social platform has to do that. This means that scams circulate long enough to entrap victims before takedown requests are processed. There are takedown requests. Till that time, these keep circulating and people get cheated and these things continue. The scale of global content slows manual review while automated moderation systems remain limited in detecting manipulated videos. This sentence talks about the limitations and the drawbacks, shortfalls. The scale of global content slows manual review while automated moderation systems remain limited in detecting manipulated videos. As a private entities, an important word here. What is the meaning of entity? Anything that exists, we say entity, but usually it goes with people. Imagine there's a group, 5 or 6 guys. 5 guys are active. One guy is part of the group, but not active, doesn't say a word, rather reticent. Then we say he's a non-entity in the group. Have you heard of this any time? He is a non-entity in the group. Entities. Private entities means private organizations profiting from user engagement. Platforms prefer to avoid sustained monitoring that would involve intrusive scrutiny of user uploads. Platforms try to avoid something, it seems. What is the word used? Sustained monitoring. Sustain means maintain. They don't want to monitor all the time. One of the reasons it may look like intrusive scrutiny. Intrude means to enter without permission. Imagine a party is going on, someone enters the party, not invited by anyone. Then we say there is an intruder, intrude, to enter illegally. Intrusive scrutiny of user uploads. The result is that deep fake scams are treated as individual incidents rather than systemic vulnerabilities. Systemic means touching the entire system. 3 measures are necessary. Now the writer or the editorial says the solutions. First, governments must define standards for registration, disclosure, and cross-border cooperation to limit the space in which fraudulent schemes operate. Second, technical literacy must be treated as a public policy priority. Technical literacy is a must, otherwise these problems do happen. Awareness efforts should be continuous and supported by educational institutions rather than limited to periodic campaigns by police units. Police units they may do occasionally, once in a blue moon, but they should be done. Awareness should be created by educational institutions regularly. Then people understand, okay, these are the threats, these are the dangers. What is the third solution? Social media platforms should be required to remove fraudulent content proactively. This is the main idea. Who should remove fraudulent content. It is the onus is on the social media platforms. Onus means what? Responsibility. It is on the social media platform and they have to do it proactively. They should not wait for the damage to happen. Then they react, that is reactive. Before the damage takes place, an innocent person gets affected, proactively they have to do something. Without these, such scams will entail huge human and material costs. Many people will get damaged, will get affected, and they lose lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees. And this is not the first time. Many retired people, doctors, engineers, professors, people from all walks of life, they have been taken for a ride, on a ride, and they got exploited. Three solutions have been provided. This editorial is useful because today social media, an important platform, people are being exploited, and it is like the pros and cons of AI. You can use these examples when you write an essay on what are the civil services. I think 2021 they gave a question. What is artificial intelligence? What are the pros and cons of artificial intelligence? So pros and cons, you can give this example. Artificial intelligence generated deep fake. Very useful editorial in my opinion. You may get as a passage in the exam, prelims or mains, and you read twice, thrice, think of the solutions, and when you get an essay in descriptive English, you can write a good essay. That's all for today. Have a nice day, have a nice weekend. I will see you. Oh, is that so? I am not surprised because many people got affected and some people don't want to go to police also. Why to have, already we have lost, they accept that. Next time they try to be careful. Once you get affected, you try to be very careful. For that there's one idiom in English. What is it? Once bitten, twice shy. Have you heard of that? Once bitten, twice shy. Have a nice weekend too. Thank you very much.